What tax relief is available on asbestos? Hi, I'm Kimberly Shapcotts, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Let's sit down and have a chat. Asbestos, what can we do about it? Well, we can get tax relief on it when we are in the process of tidying it up and removing it from our properties. So we are looking at something called land remediation relief. And this remediation relief is available to property investors, property owners, as well as developers. A key point to note is this is only available for corporation tax, and it is not available for those claiming income tax, which may, if you have a property that is particularly impacted by asbestos, may mean that you want to be buying it through a company rather than in your own name. The relief that's available is dependent on what type of person you are. So if you are an investor, a property owner, then you'll be getting 150% relief. If you are a developer, then you'll be restricted to 50% relief. But either way, it is still a great relief available to help reduce your taxes and support the removal of asbestos. In terms of what qualifies, let me share with you some notes. Qualifying costs include the remediation of contaminated land, removal of asbestos from buildings, breaking out buried structures, and the treatment of harmful organisations and naturally occurring contaminants, such as Japanese knotweed, radon, and arsenic. Check out the separate videos on Japanese knotweed specifically. Relief can be available on developments, regeneration projects, fit-outs, and refurbishments, and the time limit for retrospective claims is up to 3 years. So if you do think, actually, I've got something here, then you may want to be making a claim now to amend your corporation tax return and get this expense included. One of the benefits of this relief is that it's for investors and property owners. And if you're going to be getting this relief, then it may have the benefit that you can actually be doing a better offer price on what you're putting in for a property, knowing that you're going to get this tax relief, especially for property investors who get this at 150%, which is a very generous benefit. Obviously, the government want us to be getting rid of asbestos out of our properties. So it is definitely a generous offering that they are giving to people. So some of the other conditions we need to be aware of are that where the property is held as an asset, such as a retail portfolio, the 450% must be claimed in the year in which the expenditure was incurred. In cash terms, this is about 30% saving because we're assuming that corporation tax is going to be at the 20%. So it would be dependent on what rate you're claiming at the 90 and the 25%, what exactly the saving is, but there will definitely be some savings for you. For those that are developers that are trading the property, a 50% benefit is realised as all construction expenditure is already fully written off in the profit and loss, enabling the excess over 50% to be claimed. The excess over 50% is only available to claim on the disposal of the property in cash terms. This equates to 10% on the assumption of a 20% tax, so on the basis we're 19 and 25%, it's probably somewhere around that sort of saving at this point. Now, we do need to talk about some of the restrictions because there are restrictions, as with all of these different tax positions. And the restrictions are that the company is entitled to claim where any of the following applies. The land is a contaminated state due to the claimant company. The claimant company does not have a major interest, freehold or minimum lease of 7 years. The expenditure has been subsidised, for example, by grant funding, so where you've had support and help, you won't be able to claim it. The acquisition cost of the land was specifically discounted in order to account for the cost of remediation works and started as such in the purchase agreement. So if you've specifically stated in the purchase agreement that you've got a discount because of these remediation costs, you can't claim the relief. If you've got grant funding, then again, you are not going to be able to claim this relief. If you don't have any interest in the company, so if you're the construction, if you're providing the work, then you've not got any relief available. It's the people who own it that are going to be getting the relief. And the land does need to be contaminated to enable the relief to be claimed. An additional one to be aware of is the tax credit. So we want to mention the tax credit here because if your UK company is making a loss for an accounting period in which it incurs this expenditure on remediating the contaminated or derelict land, it may elect to receive a payable credit from HMRC. So this is where you can actually physically get tax money back from HM Revenue and Customs. And the amount of tax credit which can be claimed is 16% of the qualifying land remediation relief for the accounting period the claim relates to. And for both investors and developers, the cash return is potentially 24% of the expenditure incurred, which is obviously 16% of 150%. So if you are finding you're making a loss in that accounting period, then you may be able to get a bit of cash back from HMRC as well, which helps obviously pay for the work that you have been doing on that land. If you have got a completed project that you think, I should have claimed this on, there is an available period of up to 2 years where you can go back and reclaim and put this through in the appropriate place. So don't think all is lost if you're seeing this for the first time now and thinking, I should have used that. Have a look, when is the time period that you should have claimed it, where are we now, and is there anything that you should be claiming on your land projects. Asbestos is something that we do find on occasion in our properties, and it may be something we need to deal with. It may just be a small element of something we have to incur in our expenses, maybe a couple of hundred. It may cost thousands, but there is this tax relief. So it just makes sense to be taking as much tax relief as we can get when we're incurring these types of expenses. So be vigilant, be aware, and if it does come up, then make sure that we are using the tax reliefs available when we can. Hopefully today you've discovered what the tax relief available is on asbestos when you are finding asbestos in those properties that you are buying. If you have any questions, then please do leave a comment. Please like the video and do subscribe to the channel. And let's make tax less taxing. Let's make tax less taxing.